If you were here last time, you know my assistant does slides. You guys gonna stand? Or you guys gonna, whatever, you guys wanna move up? Okay. All right. So, first, I'll talk to you guys about Kino-Ole. Nah, just kidding. And I want you to know you're not special. You're the same piece of, or what is it? Dying organic material? What do you say? People were quoting it after the EXP thing. You're the same piece of organic material.
Oh, yeah. You're not special.
You're not special.
You're a decaying piece of organic material like everything else.
Yeah, you're decaying. Anyways, I just having fun with Dylan. All right, so we made this efficient so that we don't run over and we have time to turn it to the crowd for questions. We do a lot of business from YouTube. Kenji, videographer. Mahe, agent, partner on their team. And a lot of our business comes from YouTube. And if you were here last time, you heard me explain, I don't have all the slides, so I try to make it efficient. We don't do the whole like top of funnel, move people from outside of the funnel and follow up 17 times to get an appointment, and then you're halfway through and then you convert them, you convince them to like you. We don't like that. I don't enjoy it, so we don't do it, but we do a lot of business without having to do that. The trust and the no-like trust and the flow is built from the video content. So it's super powerful. We could go all day. Mahi could tell her story about how she was doing mostly
Zero po ka natin.
zero to nothing.
Yeah.
Kenji wasn't even in the industry, and now we have a well over 7-figure team. But raise your hand if you're a videographer. Not you on that side. Anyone else a videographer? Okay, anyone want to do YouTube and get like $1 million worth of business from YouTube? Okay, but none of you are videographers, so don't try to be one. Yeah, don't try to be a videographer, don't try to be an editor. You're not that guy or that girl. That's not you, that wasn't me. In fact, I bought a course, I tried to do it myself, and I realized I'm not that guy, so I found that guy. It's like, would you rather have 7 figures of business and give up some of the pie to a professional, or try and do it all yourself and keep a little bitty pie, not even a personal size? Also with that, it's just 1 + 1 = 3, because Kenji's like, oh, we should shoot this, or oh shit. Kenji's like, oh, maybe
Kenji usually edits that out of our videos.
we shouldn't do this, or Mahi's contributing, I think we should do this new construction video. It's really just 1 + 1 = many more than 3. So don't try and be a videographer, is the main point. Use the right bait for the right pond. So I started coaching recently, and some guys are like, yeah, I want to, well, they're from California, so they don't talk like that. But California and Virginia, but they're like, bro, I want to get sellers. We make YouTube. I really want to get sellers. And it's like, well, you're trying to catch bass in a trout pond. Why is a seller going to go to YouTube? They don't need to go to YouTube. You live Kona and you're moving Hilo. Like you don't necessarily need to go to YouTube for that. And then they're like, oh, I really want to get all the local business. I want all the local business. Like, well, just know this. YouTube is first and foremost and primarily a relocation buyer game. Now, we do get sellers. We do get local people. And we have a little extra special when we get our local people, yeah. But you got to use the right bait for the right thing. And YouTube, no, it's a relocation buyer game. Who needs to go to YouTube to get information? Google and YouTube. So YouTube's the number 2 search engine owned by the number 1, right? Who needs to go there to get information? Someone moving, someone who doesn't know the difference in, Kona or Kailua Kona or this or that. Like, if you live south, you're heading north, you don't need to go to YouTube for that. So use the right bait for the right thing. And this is pretty much the whole thing. So this is how to do YouTube summarized. Consistency is number 1. Make a video at least every week. I'm not going to say names because someone in here who made 4 videos sold a $750,000 house. How much commission is that? A lot. And they never started they didn't make videos again. I was like, your whole world should be, how do you make more videos? You made 4 videos and you made that much money. Like, yeah, I don't know. Because I got busy. I was like, well, because you're trying to be a videographer. Find your who, not how. And then you can bring on who, not hows, and then grow this big thing. I'm not going to say names. They know who they are. They're in here. Be real. You see how I talk? I was like, oh, This is how I wear this hat. You know, if I go dinner, I might wear this hat. I might wear this shirt. We shot YouTube today, and you know, Mahi is always doing too much. You know, with the aloha
I'm
pants.
doing enough. You're not doing enough.
She texted me last night, "What are you gonna wear?" I was like, "What I wear has no bearing on what you wear. You know,
I just want to make sure I look better than you as always.
you know, you can be wearing aloha pants and doing extra, so don't matter. So be real. Like this, what I just did there, people appreciate that. They're tired of the realtor. Like, yeah. Oh, big house, love those. Small house, yeah, love those too. No one wants that shit. Be upset. Like you have to be upset. You're gonna cold call, farm, door knock, whatever it is. You have to be obsessed. This video game's no exception. And multiple obsessed people is even better. Be nuanced. So we shot videos. The reason why we weren't here all day, we took this opportunity to go shoot videos in Kona. And so we showed the new construction, cottages on Ali'i Drive. So maybe we refer those clients to some of you guys. We showed smaller condos. We tried to get to over here and show other stuff. And we talk, we speak in nuance. Like what's the HOA fee? What's the difference in that versus this? Over here on this side, I learned this at the party last time because it was raining. I was like, on this side, up there in the mountains could be raining, and over here it's just dry. And so if that bothers you, you know, a certain rain line, and maybe you want to live more down here, and people are like, oh, thank you. Most realtors are just like, yeah, everything's great. Let's make a commission. Be nuanced. Be a little outrageous. I think I'm showing you guys, you know, how that goes. And tell stories. Anyone, like, pretty soon, they're going to be able to have, you know, Kenji's face with Mahe's pants and Morgan Freeman's voice and my hat. AI is going to be able to produce that and talk all about Kona with everything on the internet. And that's only going to get better and better and better. But what they can't say is I went to Level Up, stayed over here, saw the manta rays. I learned from the locals that sometimes it's raining up there. Like AI will never be able to do that. And so that's a great differentiator. You can tell stories. So if you are consistent, you are all these things, you make videos consistently, preferably, and the reason why I made it the first slide is because the secret sauce is that I'm not a videographer. Like, I wouldn't be this 50, 60 plus $1 million producer if I was me by myself. I had to find who. But everyone out there, oh, I'm gonna shoot videos, I'm gonna shoot them myself and send them to a Filipino editor, which I have that. No, nothing wrong. I love my VAs. I found out through Ancestry I'm Filipino. That's not a dig. I'm just saying they don't live in Kona. They don't live in Hilo. When you're trying to say, oh, over here, like they don't know how to orient people by popping up the map and doing all this stuff Kenji does. So people want to go cheap and go shallow, go deep and be obsessed. So find that person, be obsessed, be nuanced, real, outrageous, and tell stories. And that's really the whole presentation because we want to open it up to your questions. Last time we had a bunch of questions. This YouTube thing is really nuanced. I know some of you have said, some of you DM me saying you're going to try. Some of you have done it in the past. Some of you want to try. So whether it be about YouTube, whether it be about team building, team structure, whether it be more about video, whether it be about really a struggling agent failing out of the industry to now being a multiple six-figure agent on a powerful team. What questions do you guys have? Are you going to moderate? You got them, Yeah. Justice.
Oh, yeah. Hi guys, I'm Justice. I wanted to know where you got your pants from. No, I'm just joking. I'm sorry. I was wondering.
You didn't have to ask. She'll just tell you.
I was wondering if when you found Kenji, had he already been a videographer, or was he a good friend that became one?
Well, we both went to the same high school, yeah. So that was a little bit easier. And then when I came back, I lived in Japan for a long time. I started my videography journey a long time ago, and so.
People got excited.
Oh. 8年間日本に住んでまして、英語の先生してて、それからまあふるさとがオアフ島なんですけど、生まれ育ちもはいハワイですけど。So I lived in Japan for a long time. I came back. Okahashi-san's like, yo, let's do this YouTube thing. I already had a lot of video experience under my belt, which makes it, I don't want to say easy because it's still you need to work. But it was a very different lane that we looked around in 2001. We looked around at the landscape. It was actually 2020, I think, when we had lunch.
But first,
And
First, we tried shooting video together on like a regular 1099 relationship, and it really wasn't all. It was whack. It was whack, right? It was whack. And you're like, we can make good videos. Proof is in the pudding, but that relationship was not as fruitful as the way we structured it later.
And props to you with that partnership, which I would encourage all of you here to do. Is like, we all know how powerful video is, but we don't necessarily pay the right attention or resources to video. We treat it like how the way Derek painted the picture of some offshore Filipino university student. That's how it was described to us. We failed there too. The nuance, they don't understand. I'm from Hawaii. I know Hawaii. I'm as local as it gets, right? So I understand the things when I'm editing these hours of just today. How much talking video I got to go through from today? But I understand already what to put in there. I understand story structure, I understand videos. I can be efficient with my time, 1 hour of shooting, 2 hours of editing. I know these things. I've done it. I'm proud of you too. The only other guy who raised his hand when the videographer. Get this guy involved. Here's somebody in Cologne who probably has the same skill set as me, who can then team up with someone like a Derek Mahe. And to the consistency point, I could do the consistency because I've already been doing video a long time.
How long is it? So the vlog is the great differentiator. Talking head video, 10 things about Big Island or whatever. Anyone can do that. But to really differentiate yourself and give people this value that value is such a buzzword, I hate using, but to give them that where they really connect with you on a visceral level and they feel starstruck when they meet you, the vlog is that great differentiator. And how long do our vlogs take? We're probably a little more efficient now, but in the beginning, 20 hours a week to shoot and edit?
Okay, kind of embarrassing, but hey, let's be open about it. Go look at 2021 January. I think that's when we dropped the first Eva Beach video we did. And just compare that to like the video we can drop this Sunday or next Sunday. And just look at the difference. You'll see, for me, I see a lot more because technical, right? But really, like good design, I should be invisible, which I am. You don't see me on the channel. I mean, sometimes, but like good videographer, you don't know if there's somebody there. I'm not being an artist behind the camera, I'm being a technician. And their voices are what's reaching the target audience, and that's why it's working so well. If I was to try and be like, make this my portfolio, like artsy stuff, which I am used to, I did a lot of that too, I think it'd be a different thing. So I know Derek, I know Mahe, they have this synergy on camera that our audience responds to. And so I got to get out of the way and let that shine as much as possible. And I mean, it's working so far. Mahe has that good energy and the style. But I think the biggest hitters are those vlogs. They add educational value for someone who's looking to relocate. They also add some amount of scenic, like aerial, like beach, like Hawaii, right? And they add that thing that no chat bot, no AI can replace, which is Derek's sorry about getting in a fight at the Beach gym. You know what I mean? You do that. But yeah, I don't know if I even answered your question.
But on the choosing the videographer, we have another mutual friend I grew up with, and I talked to him about this project, and he was like, nah, Mark, here. He was like, nah, I cannot do that kind. Because he wants cinematic, he wants nice reveal shot, blurred, zoom in, music. And I was like, nah, I want to just connect with people. And he was like, nah, I cannot make that kind. I only make nice stuff. And Kenj makes like fire stuff too, but he's not using his whole artistry as a cinematographer to do this, right? We intentionally make things that the relocator and consumer would want to see. We got another question?
You guys can ask Mahi questions.
Yeah, you can ask Mahi.
Sorry, what?
You do it just with your iPhone or with a camera?
The question is about gear, right? What kind of camera do I use? Sometimes, yeah, like actually today, right, getting off the airplane, it just makes more sense to pull that thing out of your pocket, take a selfie. That'll make it in the Final Cut. I have an FX3, it's a mirrorless full frame camera. No. I have a nice camera, the prosumer level camera, right? But when we started the channel, it was a mix of iPhone, GoPro, and a small Micro Four Thirds Panasonic GH5. So it's not, that's geek talk for consumer level. You don't have to put too much into the gear. You should really put all that energy into. Yeah, there's no gear. I could do this with the phone, iPhone. I have a 12.
Don't you think there's some, we intentionally will put like iPhone or like less great footage in there to add that relatability. You know, like how relatable is a president to you or someone on TV? But like a YouTuber with a selfie stick, oh, I could talk to him if I saw him in Costco. So we want to make sure there's some of that's in there intentionally.
So, Derek, as you guys are crushing it in YouTube right now, what is one piece of advice that you would, or something that you would change, knowing what you know now? As a beginner, what would you have done differently?
Find who, not how sooner, and go in hard sooner. Get coaching on it sooner. Read everything I could about it sooner. 2 videos a week sooner instead of 1 until I got started. We started making, you know, not all of this is just the YouTube, but our team, you know, I bring in business from the Coast Guard, my sphere, you know, other things, but our team founded on video, eventually started pumping out 250,000 plus per quarter in GCI, and it never stopped. So imagine if I would have made that happen at least 1 quarter sooner. And so that's the biggest piece of advice I would give is just go hard sooner. But it all worked out. Like Mahe came into our team at the right time. It all worked. You know, maybe there's a universe or a God or something has a plan, but I would go hard, all in, coaching, everything, consistency, C.R.O.N.O.S sooner. Mahe, do you want to say anything to that? Like, because you came in, we had some momentum already, but
I think when you are starting, try to just like, okay, when I first started, I really cared about how I looked all the time. I was like, damn, you're really gonna get me from that angle? You know, like, really, you have to just like stop thinking about it like you have an audience and just start being super authentic from the beginning, because the relatability is why people connect with you. And if you start that way, you never have to fake being somebody else. You are never having to sell yourself to your clients that come into you. You're not chasing a lead. People come to you and they're like, Mahi's weird and she's annoying and I like that. So
they like the tats.
They like the, you know, they just like, I'm not, you can be unapologetic when people come to you, and then it just makes for better relationships. It makes everything less transactional. It makes everything feel less slimy. We all know that realtors have a reputation for being just like slimy salespeople that people don't like. You tell somebody you're a realtor, they're like, you know.
Not always, but it happens.
A lot of times. Like,
It happens.
let's be real,
Easy
it happens. But point being is when you get to present yourself on a platform like YouTube, like be yourself, and the clients that are meant to work with you and the transactions that are going to be smooth and great because the relationship is there, those people will come to you. And you don't have to hide your tattoos. You don't have to remove your piercings. You don't have to listen to the sales manager telling you to tone it down. You can be successful however you are. Just make sure you go in doing that and being that person, and just consistently present yourself, your real self and authentic self to everybody all the time.
To that, a big personality helps. You know, it's big personality is good for TV and for media, but it's not required. Like, I know people with these just kind of mundane YouTube channels, they just tell facts and do it consistently and, you know, nuanced and be yourself and be authentic. That's them. And people are, you know, some people might not like Mahe and I's energy, or some want her and not me, some want me and not her. And so if you aren't this big personality, that's okay. Still do it, because there's a lot of people out there that don't want that.
Yeah.
That, you know.
You know what it's like? It's like when you lie on your dating app, yeah? Like, and then you go and they're like, ooh, like that's not what I swiped right on, you know? So YouTube is like our dating app, and you just present who you actually are, and then the date goes well, right? Because you didn't lie about anything, so.
Oh, you've been at this inbound lead game for a while.
Oh yeah, my lead funnel, and then like, okay, sorry.
What are your thoughts or your strategy around call to action in your video, and like building the bridge between online and taking the client offline to where you can do business?
Great question. A lot of people will put a recipe to it, like, you know, start talking, make sure the first so many seconds, you don't go more than 5 seconds without like a attention disruptor, like shake the camera, zoom in, music, something pops up, bang, like the old like Batman when we were younger, all that kind of stuff. And then you can taper off, and then within the first third of the video, call to action, because that's when they drop off. And there's a recipe, and there's a book called YouTube Formula or Secret. You can read that, but also be you. So like for us, we shied away from the call to actions to start because we didn't want to cheapen the experience. I'm sure we lost money by not doing call to actions, but we also laid like deep concrete foundation with these faithful fans, and so there's no one way to do it. There's no one way to do it. You want to speak to that?
So when I'm like editing, right? So editing is 2/3 of the process. 1/3 is shooting. Actually, you could put another piece in there, that's planning. But here's a little gem too. Like you could preload your call to actions, right? In one shooting day, 1 hour, you just make 10 different call to actions. So now you have 15-second commercials. And so now I have this sort of loaded clip of call to actions, and I'm looking at the video. I'll look at it in its entirety, and I'll see where's a good break for it. Does it feel natural? Does it feel forced? Do we not even need one till all the way at the end? But then again, if you look at your analytics, sometimes people are like just trailing off right at the beginning, and just people start trailing, so that as soon as you see that call to action, you see a drop in your analytics. Anyone who's looked at their YouTube analytics have seen that. That's when the commercial started. So we know we lose a lot, and it's a question we're always asking, but the actual landscape of YouTube, social media, Instagram, all these things at large is changing as well. So it's not like we ever found that this is our answer to what we're doing, but we are equipped in that we have different links with different call to actions that always funnel to our page. So even though it's on YouTube, we're saying go to our page, and then when they're talking, it's make sure to go to our page, go to our link, it's in the description, come to us. So we're always funneling towards our homepage.
And to that, we, you know, Mahi and I have a charisma or like a connection. I'll be talking and I see her like in her head going, oh, I know what you're doing. I can go there. So like we're at the cottages at Ali'i, and I'm like, yeah, you know, I learned 3 things that I definitely would want to know if I was buying in here. There's one thing that might make some people not want to move in here. And Mahi's like, yep, because you got to call us. Like she knows what I'm doing, and so, or we might just be talking about, Haiko coffee in Kona and the rain in the mountains, and then, you know, throw in like, oh, we sold one over there, you know, and they're like, oh yeah, they're realtors, huh? Like, realtor associates. Emily's in the back. Realtors. And so there's also subtle, you know, little bones we leave out too, you know. But great question. We have 8 minutes. There's 2 over here, Mahi.
Hey, it's great to see you. I reached out to you, 6 months ago or so, and I was amazed that you answered the phone and were so generous.
What's your name?
Arthur Papaliskas. I talked to you about your videos and Levi's videos and all that.
Yeah, I remember, yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, so as far as, I guess 2 questions. As far as the everything you farm out, of course, videographer, what other parts of your business are you farming out? And like, you know, other than trying to, you know, go back and harass people from high school, any recommendations on partnering up with or finding a videographer who's even going to be open for something like that?
Yeah, good question. Kenji and I were acquainted. I was friends with his brother, but I didn't like know Kenji super well. When I took him out to lunch to like ease into this thing, he didn't yet see the vision, wasn't sold, and it wasn't that I had this friend in my pocket, but I did know of someone. So both things are true. If I had to, a good question to reframe your question would be, how would you build this if you were building it again? There's really 3 ways. You could have a partner like this who is an EXP agent and gets paid when we do deals, and they're totally invested, the most investment. So I don't have to upload, think of titles. I only need to be as involved as I need to, you know, as I want to be. But if say I have a W-2 employee, you know, a 20-year-old kid, did media in high school, they can make a video sufficient. It may not be quite Kenji's level, it's totally sufficient. But that person doesn't have the same investment, you know, they're making X amount per year. I gotta really be more into it. I gotta be more of a YouTuber. Right now, I'm very much a realtor associate. And I would have to be a YouTuber more, but I don't have to because I have that. So if I were to structure it moving forward, I would want that person to have bonuses and incentives to be really invested. So what I'd probably do is something like a waiter, waitress model, like a certain base pay and then an override as long as you're with me. So when I do deals, you get bonuses within the pay confines. I'm just kidding. And Kamalani, I'm just joking. I would give them bonuses because I want them to be really invested. And then I could probably keep more. Like Kenji just bought a new truck, lifted, he's doing good. Oh my God. Yeah. But I'm happy, I'm happy for that, and it's beautiful what we have. But if I moved to California and did another channel, knowing what I know now, I'd probably pay someone and then give them bonuses. And I run ads on Wise Hire. You can hit me up. I'll send you a link. I think I get like super small credit if I send you an affiliate link. And one thing I do know for sure, 100%, you can improve upon something if you don't start. So that's with hiring, that's with interviewing, that's with all that. So, and you're probably gonna strike out. I struck out. I paid him $10.99 to make videos that weren't that good, mainly because of me, not because of his skill, but mainly, we're figuring it out, but as I just came and was doing some basic realtor stuff. I paid another guy to make videos, but is that wasted money? Well, look where we are now. So you can't improve if you don't start. So run ads on Wise Hire. And I think you're gonna have to choose your pay structure based on who you find. You find Kenji 2.0, make him a partner as fast as you can. If you find some young kid who's just fine with base pay or whatever, partnership doesn't matter because they don't even bring you that level of value, so pay them a different way. So you kind of have to mold it to them, One more over there.
Yeah, I'm an actor and a performer, so I love being the personality, but I just don't know when I'm like, let's talk about HOA. It's like, how do you come up with content where you put 2 hours a week and keep it interesting, you bring humor in there, is it comedy,
Watch the channel.
Well, on one hand, I'm like, don't watch our channel. Don't watch our channel.
Well, one thing is we don't script at all. We don't do any scripting. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we kind of freestyle it. We definitely plan. We game plan what we're gonna do, but it's so much about the who, because Derek and I can just riff off of each other, and it's entertaining. So it's not like a boring HOA segment. It's oh yeah, can I have dogs over here? That kind. So it's less the what you're talking about and just the more how you're presenting, and it can be any personality type that somebody's going to connect with, and it's going to be the right thing for somebody. I'm definitely not for everybody. Derek's definitely not for everybody. But I mean, no, but it's just, I think we really did get lucky. We work hard.
The more you show up, the luckier you get.
Yeah, right. You work hard, you keep doing the work, whatever. But I feel like we're the three of us, we work really well together. We don't have to. I feel like somebody else, if it were other people, we get to the years of working together now, and just the right personality types and the right fit and the culture fit, and that kind of thing is the most important. And then everything else will just flow a little bit more naturally, and it'll be less of a chore for you because that's a chore, right? To some people, you're like, oh my God, 2 videos a week, how do you do that? Yeah. It's much less of a chore when you have the right who with you. So.
But I'm insecure about if I say the right thing, is that correct? Does you fact check that?
We gotta fix that because.
Yeah.
Where are you from?
I'm from New York.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah.
So when you came from New York to here, you didn't care about the HOA. That's only after, and when people are top of funnel, good thing at YouTube, you don't have to meet them top of funnel. They come to you more bottom of funnel. When they're top of funnel, they don't care about an HOA. That's only once they've really honed in, And so at first they're like, what is the difference in Kona and Hilo? Or maybe what's the difference in Oahu and Big Island? What's Kona and Hilo? What is Kailua, Kona, and, Keauhou? What is, you go more south, what is it, Ke'e or whatever, or Mahi? What is, see, I don't even know. I would need to go to YouTube for that. How come no more beaches? How come we only get rock? Everything is coffee, where is it raining? And then only later do they care about HOAs. And so we just, like Mahi said, slide that in. Like today, we were, guard
The
something
heights,
at
the heights at
Hualagai?
something. We knew it when we were right next to it, the sign, but.
What is it?
The heights of what?
Estates in Hualagai or something?
No.
Height, yeah.
Height, that one, heights. at
So
Hualagai,
as
yeah.
we're walking away off camera, Mahi's like, oh, what'd you say? Like, oh, some people eyeing over here. Like, you better,
Yeah.
you better not leave your pit bull out. And she said something about there being a strict HOA, and I was like, hey, say that on camera. And I was like, so he turns the camera back to us, and
Well, no, it was about, I
we're like-
cannot prune the plants over there.
Yeah, we're
I
like-
cannot help them with the, like, oh no, they, like, normally we go someplace, I'll take the tea leaf, I'll clean the plants, whatever. That's kind of my thing wherever we go. And I'm like, oh, this monstera is kind of dead. And like, oh no, you're not allowed to malama the plants over here. I'm like,
Yeah. She's
if
like,
you're not
I'm
on
not touching-
staff, you cannot malama nothing over
HOA
here.
captain could come around the corner if you touch the plants over here. So we were telling the camera that, and we're like, but, I asked her, but, are you in this kind of neighborhood? Were you okay with that? And she's like, yeah, actually, you know what? In this kind of neighborhood, not only do I expect it, I'm okay with it because, they're keeping things nice, monstera, these ferns, like beautiful views. Like I get it. It's an HOA kind neighborhood, right? HOA kind things, right? And people, if it matters to the culture of living in there, yes. But like the HOA meets quarterly, like nobody cares, right? That's like in escrow stuff. So my biggest thing would be, don't think like a real estate agent. Just think like you're someone's cousin or friend who lives here.
Yeah.
And the way they would ask you questions, that's the way you want to talk on video. Yeah. They'd be like, nah, for real, are there crackheads on a lead drive? Like, tell the truth, tell the truth. And there's subtle ways and respectful ways to show that, right?
Yeah.
There's like, Kenji might specifically, I see him going like this. He's like moving and I'm like, what is he getting behind? And then there might be like a homeless person and I'll notice it and I'll be like, Hawaii does have a high level of poverty. And so sometimes our local people are, they struggle. And, you see that in our streets. And people get it. They pick up what you're putting down, but you're also being respectful. So just talk like how you would talk to your cousin,
Talk like how you would talk to a family or friend, because the hardest part about like doing the business and like getting the leads is the know, like, trust. Like these people don't know you. How are you going to get them to trust you with this like big investment, the biggest of their life for most people, right? And it's not going to be by just like spieling like anybody else. It's going to be like you're talking to them like you actually care about their wants and needs. And that's how you speak to your ohana. That's how you speak to your friends. So that's really, what most people resonate with us and why people reach out to us is because of the transparency, because we're speaking to them with familiarity, because they feel like they know us off the bat. So when I meet somebody for the first time, they've already spent hours with me, and they already get to, see my personality type, and we've already formed like a friendship. And it's very easy for me then to slide into the relationship because it's like you're meeting an old friend you've never met before, and that's what YouTube allows us to do all the time.
And be you, Devin, I know we're over. Well, be you, right? But it'd be better if you were very skilled. So knowing about like USDA versus VA versus the new, percentage down and all the loan types and, lava zone 1, 2, and all, like, if being you was skilled, that would be better. So if you're a new agent, no act, like.
Yeah.
But as you come up in skill, again, don't be like a real estate agent. But like, did you know that the FHA, like, it's like just speak like a master, like a helpful friend, and it'll come out. The more skilled you are, the more it'll come out.
So last thing, your first 3 months, how much money did you make versus money you spent on the effort, time and effort towards making videos versus money return on investment? First 3 months.
0. We didn't get our first phone call until about 6 months in. And I remember we're shooting videos, and I had the phone up in my visor of my van at the time. And the guy's like, hello, this is Derek. And he's like, hey, Derek, you don't know me, but man, I watch your videos. I'm in Canada. And like, I put it on mute, and me and kids, yeah. It's gonna work. It's gonna work. And so 6 months in, because I formed a partnership, I didn't pay anything. It was free. Wasn't free to Kenji's time though, or my time.
He was making time investments,
because I formed a partnership. But Kenji does well, right? Like if Kenji just said, no need pay me nothing, I'm gonna move to Japan tomorrow, the person that would replace him wouldn't make what he makes. But that's how business goes, right? You invest in Amazon early, you make better later, and I'm proud that Kenji does well. You know, I think it's industry changing that Kenji does well, and there will be more Kenjis in the future. So, yeah, we didn't make anything for a long time, and hundreds of hours, I would say, hundreds of hours, and you know, that's hockey stick success, right?
Thank you guys.
Thank you guys.
Thanks, guys.